mean, they may know what phenotype is and genotype is, and they know the X and the Y's.
Right.
But if they're evaluating it, they're synthesizing and bringing in new information. So what is the new information, which would be the rigor? They have this.
How can they take it and expound it?
Right.
That's several steps.
Yeah, I guess anything with the information, or is it just explaining the information?
Yeah, because I hate to say it. So these cartoons, while they made
The goal.
they do
The goal. What was
it's like you just click on the
Okay, so they're just
and then
displaying the
change.
They're displaying the types, and from the types, they come up with this type. But it's like,
Personalize the information.
And it explains about 3 more minutes.
How was that?
Right,
Just
let's see what the other ones have.
a deeper
Let's take a look and see what they
explanation maybe.
Yeah.
Something that would like, or maybe if they're to say, because it doesn't say in the rubric, some of them talked about like an example of how it would work in real life. So maybe.
Okay, guys, let's bring it back together. Now, as this part of the consultancy protocol, we want you guys to ask pretty much factual questions of the presenter for Ms. Long, and she will have about 10 minutes just to record some of your questions and respond to you. And think about the question that she's asked. You've reviewed the student work, so clarifying questions around the dilemma that she stated, and to help her clarify, is this the real dilemma, or should it be another question that she should be asking around the work?
We were looking at the Johnny and Candace, the parents, I guess, and then the offsprings. I mean, what type of rigor, I mean, what type of synthesis is going on in this side? We don't see it in reference to the parents, and they have the chart for the kids, or offspring. We just don't see any rigor.
I'm just looking at, they know the X and the Y. When I see synthesis, I'm looking at the information that they already know, and then how do they come up with the new information from this. So here's your formula, and they come up with this. So what new information can they do?
I think through the use of this one, that they were looking at if the child could combine it and come up with an outcome. That was the goal, to see if they could put the two pieces of information together.
They already know.
Yes,
These
and
two.
to effectively use the formula.
To make these things. Okay. Okay.
I guess for this one, my question was, I'm trying to word it in a Y format. I'm having a little bit of difficulty, but so I'm just going to ask. The goal was exceeded. The goal of able to do a project on smoking in order to run an information and advertisement. However, the objective, it doesn't seem like it was met. And identifying the parts, it seems as though some of them did that, and the organs and respiratory tract and their functions, but no one had any information on the functions of the respiratory tract. And then we saw that a lot of the standards were exceeded from the post-it notes, but I guess my question is, how can the standard be exceeded if the objective isn't met, although the goal was?
I think just rewriting an objective, maybe to align the objective with the goal. Better would be the answer for this one.
Okay.
As I looked over it, that's what I saw.
Okay.
But then, in order for it to be a little bit more rigorous, like, you know, it would make it deeper to put to me, rigor, I guess, is going that extra step deeper. So, even though the goal was pretty much familiar to them, something they already know, going deeper would have been to list the function. So I think that maybe if you go back and redo the objective, or maybe clarify the objective to the kids, that you want them to go a little bit further than just listing the effects of smoking.
I would suggest a rubric that matches both the objective and the goal.
Okay. Right.
That's what I would suggest.
That will work.
Did anyone else have any questions of the presenter?
when we were looking at the cartoon, there were a couple components that we didn't see, like the interactive science notebook, to actually see what kind of information were they given beforehand. And it was kind of hard to tell how much they really understood, because there was some application like personalization of it. When I get scared or angry, my adrenal glands release hormones. So I think that would sort of show a personalization of the information, but the actual depth of their understanding, it was hard to know for sure based on this. I think this was a good, maybe an introductory activity. Once you've gotten some information, or maybe not completely at the beginning, but not necessarily cumulative.
So let me ask you this, what question would you have for Ms. Long? Based on
when was this done in the learning sequence? Beginning, middle, end of the unit?
But we teach the body systems in isolation. So this was one of the most recent ones.
Okay.
And it was done in an isolated situation for, which one is this? Endocrine system.
Yeah.
So at this time, what we'll do, if there aren't any more questions, I'll ask Ms. Long to step away from the table, and then I have you guys engage around the discussion around what did you hear, some questions, some helpful questions that you may have for Ms. Long to help clarify this dilemma. And Ms. Long will actually take notes around what she's heard, and we'll do that for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
What did we hear in the question?